With that, we can move on to question 4. And question 4 reads as follows. What is a perfect competition? And our junior tutor has written that perfect competition is a type of market structure where no imbalance or imperfection is present in the market. This means that there are a large number of sellers and buyers in the market, which removes the possibility of having an oligopoly or monopoly. Of course, in a monopoly, there's only one producer. In an oligopoly, there's only a few. In perfect competition, the problem of asymmetric information is also not present because, in this kind of market structure, both the buyers and the sellers have equal access to all information. And this is correct. I'm going to go through maybe the characteristics of perfect competition. So I'm going to say perfect competition. Let's move this up here because I know my face gets in the way. So a perfect competition is that there is going to be many buyers and many sellers, as our junior tutor mentioned there. Many buyers and sellers. There is going to be, and this is maybe the most important one, a homogeneous product. And the reason I say that this is maybe the most important one is just because this is what differentiates it really from monopolistic competition. So when there's a homogeneous product, it means everybody is selling the exact same thing. An example of this is like mushrooms. Like if you went to the grocery store and an equal size pack of mushrooms was $4 from one company, but $2 from another, you're obviously going to go with the $2 version because all mushrooms are pretty much the same and you don't expect an increase in quality by buying one brand over another. With monopolistic competition, they don't have homogeneous products, so they can differentiate their products from one another. An example of like monopolistic competition is like restaurants. So, they're all serving food, but, like, or even more specifically, there's many restaurants that serve burgers, but sometimes you want a cheap burger and you can go to McDonald's. Other times you want something more expensive and maybe you're going to go to the Works and sit down. So they have the same product, but it's differentiated. There is free entry and exit. In other words, there are no barriers to entry. Barriers to entry are consistent with a monopoly. There's a couple different types of barriers to entry, which is natural barriers, technological barriers, etc. So free entry and exit. There is, I believe, perfect information. Is it written somewhere? Yes, perfect information. This means that both buyers and sellers don't have any information that would affect the transaction that the other side doesn't have. An example of this is, say, when you order an Uber, the driver can see your rating and you can see the driver's rating. So if a lot of people have gone with your driver, you're not worried about getting kidnapped. And if your driver can see that you have a high rating, they're not worried about you wrecking their car. What else? I think there's one more. Two more, actually. Another characteristic is that all firms are price takers. I'll draw the long run graph in a minute. and show you how that is. All firms are price takers. What that means is that firms don't have any ability to influence the price. So kind of back to my mushroom example from a minute ago. If a new firm wanted to come into the mushroom selling industry and price their mushrooms way more than competing brands, they wouldn't have any success in the market because nobody would buy their mushrooms. You have to be a price taker. And lastly, there are no transaction costs. What this means is that there's no price to actually performing the transaction. There's just the transaction itself. Transaction costs are typical of like going to court over something. So to achieve what you want, to have the legal battle, you need to pay a lawyer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just kind of downsize that, move it up here. Hopefully, guys, you can still see it okay. Long run chart I can draw. We've got quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. And we remember that firms are price takers. So we have a horizontal demand curve equal to the average revenue. We've got an average total cost that is U-shaped. It's actually a pretty good drawing. And firms are going to produce at the point where the marginal cost equals the average total cost equals the demand. So we can call this Q star. We can call this P star. And we can say that this is our equilibrium. Perfect. Give me a second to see if there's anything else I wanted to add to that. Don't think there is though. So over the long run, just going to downsize this again a little bit. Over the long run, firms can make a profit when price is greater than the average total cost. So firms can make a profit when price is greater than the average total cost because more firms will enter the market, so the price is driven down, and the profits are zero. So for example, if, I guess there's no example to add to that. I'll just repeat it one more time. In the long run, if firms make profits, then more firms enter the market until the price is driven down, and profits would again become zero. So we'll give you guys a minute to take a picture of that. Here's the solution.